What's your story? You see, I was 5 years old when one day I go to the fridge because I'm hungry, and I open the fridge expecting to find food, but all I see in the refrigerator was a jug of water, a carton of baking soda, and nobody in the house to feed me. I go and I look at the cupboards and I try to find food there, but all I saw was bags of rice and cans of beans and other food that I didn't know how to cook because, hey, I'm 5 years old at the time. So I say to myself, man, I need the food. I need to figure out a way to find food for myself. So I literally go into my room and I'm walking through the project apartment where I grew up at. And when I get to my room, I say to myself, if I can take some of these toys and if I can sell some of these toys, I can use that money from selling some of these toys and I can use that money to buy food. Now, the thing is, I didn't play with all these toys, right? So I can easily sell some of them and use that money for food. So I put some of my toys and my action figures in a bag and I go outside into the project apartment complex where I grew up at in the ghetto, in the hood in Miami. And I go to every kid on the block. I literally went to like maybe 8 or 9, maybe even 10 kids on the block. And I asked them, would they want to buy my toy? They said no. They said mean and nasty things to me. They called me just some really nasty words because I was one of the poorest kids on the block. And I remember getting to the very last house on the block. And there was one kid sitting on the stairs by himself upstairs. So I say to myself through my teeth, I'm like, this kid is going to buy. This kid is going to buy. This kid is going to buy. And I was so determined that this kid was going to buy because it was like there was a samurai sword just slicing through my stomach. That's how intense the pain was. So I call this kid downstairs out of desperation, and he comes down. And the first thing I say to him, I'm like, yo, you look like you're real bored up there by yourself. I got something for that boredom. And he's like, what you got? Let me see. So I go into my bag and I pull out an action figure toy. And I close the bag and I'm like, look, man, look at this action figure. This can be yours for $1, right? The head moves, the arms go up and down, right? The legs go out, they kick. Like you can do everything with this action figure. You want to buy it? It's only $1. So the kid backs away real slow like this, right? And he goes upstairs. And when he goes upstairs, I stand there and I just feel a rush of emotions come over me because, I'm like, how could this happen? How could, he not buy? He was the last kid on the block. Why wouldn't he buy? Man, I don't know if I'm going to make it. But in the moment, I say to myself, no, this kid's going to buy. A few moments later, he comes downstairs. I hear his little feet run down the stairs. And he runs up to me, and he hands me a crispy, clean dollar bill. And I take it, and I hand him the toy. He takes the toy, he runs upstairs, and goes to start playing with it. I take that dollar, and I go to the corner store that was not far from where I grew up at in the project apartment complex in the hood in Miami. And I go to the corner store, 5 years old, with my bag of toys and my $1 that I just made from my first sale at 5 years old. And I buy a bag of chips. I buy a honey bun, right? I buy a Star Crunch, okay? It was like a chocolate snack. And I buy a quarter juice, all for $1. And for me, it was the first time in my life where I felt like I had a 5-star meal because it was the first meal that I actually earned for myself. So I buy these snacks, I buy this meal, and I go outside and I sit down on the curb on the sidewalk, right? And I create this story in my mind that, why would my parents do this to me? My parents don't love me. My parents don't care about me. I'm not valuable. I'm not worthy. I don't deserve the best that life has to offer. I'm meant to struggle. This is a story I create in my mind. And then I create another story and I say to myself, no matter what it takes, when I get older, I'm going to become an overachiever. So I never have to experience this ever again. And I can help prevent this from happening to other people around the world. And from that point at 5 years old, it creates this thing where I live a life seeking other people's approval because my father wasn't there. He was in prison at the time. So I get older and I work hard through high school. And, in high school, here I am, I'm 18 years old. And I worked so hard on the basketball court that I actually earned a scholarship to go play NCAA basketball. I get there and I'm the star freshman recruit. And the first thing my coach says to me is, Mike, you are not a 3-point shooter. Don't shoot the basketball. I'm like, what? Bruh. You know who I am? Watch this. First game comes around and I shoot a three-pointer and I miss. So when I miss, the coach goes, well, after I miss, I run up the court and I run down the court. Ball goes out of bounds. And when it goes out of bounds, I hear the buzzer go off. And I look to the sideline confused, like, who are they taking out the game? It's only been like a minute into the game, right? Who are they taking out? They point at me and tell me I'm coming out of the game. So I run to the bench confused, like, yo, I'm the star freshman. This is my first debut game. Like, why would y'all take me out, And the coach yells at the top of his lungs. He goes, Mike, you are not a shooter. I told you not to shoot the basketball. If you ever shoot the ball again, you are not going back in the game. Go sit down on the bench and shut up. I decided that moment as I walked down to the bench, my confidence was ripped in pieces. I didn't want to play for this team anymore. I didn't want to play the school anymore, and I needed to leave. So here I am now, this star freshman recruit that everybody wanted to see him perform, now had his confidence ripped away. And this was the moment where my dream started to die of becoming a first-round NBA draft pick. So I could make millions, I could move my mother out of the hood, and I could become successful. After that, I fall into a silent depression. That silent depression leads me into getting involved with bad habits, getting involved with some of the wrong crowds and the wrong people. And it leads to me eventually losing my scholarship. So now here I am, I'm 20 years old, and I wake up in a hospital bed. I'm dizzy, I'm confused, I'm dazed. And then as soon as I come to, I feel an intense pain in my knee. This is my second knee surgery. And then as I look up, I see my mother sitting right there, and I could tell she just got done crying. And as soon as I looked in my mother's eyes, another pain went through my heart. And it was the pain of realizing that I was no longer going to be a first-round NBA draft pick to become successful, to move my mom out of the hood. That pain was so intense that I fell into a deep depression from the physical pain as well as the emotional pain. But now there is spiritual pain because my dreams were dead. And I had to create a new dream. So while laying there in that hospital bed, this was one of the worst moments in my life. This was a moment where I didn't want to keep going. Like I didn't see a point to keep living. If I couldn't have my dreams of playing basketball, I thought there was nothing else in this world for me. But while laying there in that hospital bed, I made a decision. And that decision was the one decision that changed my entire life over 10 years ago. And I said to myself while laying there in that hospital bed, no matter what it takes, I'm going to create freedom my way. So here I am, I'm 20 years old, I drop out of college. The depression gets so bad, there's so much pressure in my mind that I lose and leave my $42,000 NCAA scholarship because I was so depressed. And then I go back to the hood, I go back to the ghetto. I go back to my mom's house in the projects. And I say to myself, Mike, what am I gonna do now? You see, I realized basketball wasn't gonna be the way for me. So I knew I had to find another way. Just then, I said to myself, if I'm not gonna make it in basketball, maybe I can help somebody else. Maybe I can inspire somebody else. Maybe I can share with them what I've learned to help them create success their way. So, I started teaching little kids how to play basketball better. Next thing you know, within that first week, I went from teaching one client, and he was so excited. He was so thrilled with my coaching and the way I trained him and the way that I held him accountable and helped him become his best self and held him to a higher standard of excellence that he started sharing it with his friends. Next thing you know, in that first week, I went from 1 client to 5 clients. The following week, I had so many clients that I could no longer do one-on-one coaching with anymore, and I had to do group coaching. So I had to have multiple group coaching sessions throughout the day in order to fulfill all of these kids that wanted to learn how to play basketball better, right? And that eventually led me from going from group coaching one-on-one to now I'm coaching 2 basketball teams. I'm doing my own basketball clinics on the weekend, and I literally, like within a 2.5 month period, I built a real business, a very profitable business at that time, just by teaching kids basketball, sharing my experience and my knowledge of basketball. But here's something that happened. I found it. I figured out what I wanted to do. I wanted to motivate people. I wanted to inspire people. I wanted to empower people. I want to educate people. I said to myself, this is what I want to do, but I want to do it on a bigger stage. Okay? And because not everybody plays basketball, I want to do it so that way I can impact people all over the world, not just on the basketball court. So that led me on another search to figure out how to do it for myself. So I go through college and I find a way to actually start making money online in college. And one night I was at a party with friends and we were partying. The party didn't go so well. And I told my friends, I'm like, look guys, when this party's done, take me back to my college dorms because this is not it for me. I need new friends. I need a new way to create success, and hanging with you guys is not gonna cut it. So here I am, I'm 21 years old. I'm at this Halloween party. I'm sitting on the couch. It's like 3 a.m, right? And out of nowhere, an infomercial comes on with this young guy talking to this old guy about how he made millions of dollars on the internet in his 20s. So I'm like, yo, hey, I'm in my 20s. I know about the internet, but you can make money on the internet? What? That's gotta be a scam. But you know, I'm so desperate right now, I'll try anything. With the last $150 that I had to my name, I purchased this guy's book and package. It was $50 and it came in the mail a week later. So I didn't have a laptop at the time, but I knew that the school's computer lab had computers. So I take the Fast Start DVD, I go to the school's computer lab at Florida Memorial University. Shout out to FMU, FLOMO, my HBCU, and I'm an alumni there. So I go to school's computer lab, I put the Fast Start DVD in, I start taking action on what he said. You know, I watched the video, paused the video, took action, right? Play the video, pause the video, take action, right? Play the video, pause the video, take action again. And then this time when I took action, I refreshed the screen, only to find that I made my first $20. Woo! Yeah! That's how it felt inside, because I was searching for a way to create income for myself. And I didn't know that you could do it on the internet. But in that moment, I had my first major breakthrough where I realized this was going to be the way for me, using the power of the internet. So what I did from that point, you know, it felt like I had a 3,000-pound gorilla fall off my back. You know, it felt like the weight of the world just slipped off my shoulders. Now, when that happened, I got to be real with you. 2 things came to my mind. The first thing was I said to myself, I'm going to do this for the rest of my life until I'm as successful as I want to be. And 2, I'm going to share this with as many people as possible. So if they were trapped like I was many years ago, and if they don't see a way for themselves like I didn't see a way for myself many years ago, I'm going to share this with them so that way they can have the same opportunity to create income online from anywhere around the world. And that led me on another search to figure out, how can I do it? How can I take, you know, this thing that's internet marketing, how can I grow it? How can I scale it? So in college, I kept going and I kept going forward. And I started making money online as a college student. Like I had some months where I would make a couple $1,000 in that month. I had some months where I would only make a couple $100. But regardless, as a college student, I was able to sustain myself through this skill of internet marketing. I was doing multiple different things, making money, you know, creating my own products, doing eBay, you know, doing affiliate marketing, right? I was doing different things to produce income as a college student. So I get to my senior year and I do a seminar teaching other students how I was making money online. About 100 students show up to the seminar. After that seminar, students started hiring me for consulting. They started hiring me for copywriting. They started hiring me to help them do videos for their businesses. And then one student came up to me. He was like, yo, I got this idea. It's a gift. It's called banana milk. So I'm like, banana milk? That doesn't exist, man. That's gonna blow up. That's gonna be big. I'm in. Let's do it. Let's negotiate. So through my skills of what I learned on the internet at that time and what I was learning from the coaches and the mentors I was studying under, you know, I negotiated a deal to help this company go from literally just an idea to a worldwide international brand, a powerhouse brand that sells products in large retail stores such as Whole Foods and Walmart. Like that immediately I saw that in my mind. So from that point, we started working together, and I actually negotiated a six-figure deal, a six-figure equity deal with this company. And so for me as a college student, when I closed that first six-figure deal, that changed everything for me, because it took me to a new level of thinking to say, hey, if I can do this at this level, what else is out there in the world? Like how much more can I do in the realm of high ticket sales? And from that moment, that's when I made the commitment, hey, this is what I'm going to do. This is what I'm going to focus on. This is what I'm going to stick to, which is high ticket sales, right? The world of high ticket consulting, high ticket advisory, high ticket guidance. That's what I made a decision that I was going to stick to. So we worked together to grow this company from literally from scratch. And in 2015, I had my first full-time job out of college. Now here's the thing. When I was working this first full-time job, this was actually a client that I actually found, an offline client that I was working with. The client was so impressed with my work. They said, hey, look, we love what you do. Like, you're amazing. Like, we paid you 4 figures for this first service, but we want more. Like, we want all of what you have to offer. And at the time, I was actually making a couple $1,000 online as a postgraduate. But I said to myself, I just got this client, they're doing multiple millions of dollars per month. I can provide them more value, right? I can go from just being a service-based consultant to actually an in-house consultant in their company. That's what I thought it would be. And so I started working for this job. And within about 2 weeks, I said to myself, what am I doing? Like, this job is not paying me what I was actually making before I started working at this job. And yes, this is a client that I was providing services for. But working a job, battling traffic, dealing with shallow employees that don't like you, that don't want you to be there, and dealing with the fact that there's a ceiling, I can never go higher than the boss or the executives above me. I said, no, this is not for me. This is not where it's at. So I went back on the internet and I started searching for a way to actually level up what I was already doing, how I was already earning income. I found a coach. Now, the information he was sharing, I was like, I'm not sure, man. I don't know if this is going to work. But I said to myself, look, I need to do something. I need to try something, okay? I need to do something different. So I took action on what this coach shared with me. I started following his strategies and I started following his ideas. And luckily enough, I was able to go out there, being self-reliant as I am, I figured out a way to actually partner up, create some leverage using influencers, okay, and their audiences to go out there and sell a product to their audiences. Luckily enough, and fortunately enough, within a few weeks, we launched a product, and that product, it did over 5 figures. From that 5-figure launch, I was able to earn enough to quit my full-time job, go back to working full-time online from home. And after that, I was in a place where I wasn't really sure if this would work, right? I wasn't really sure if this internet stuff, this internet dream, this high-ticket realm, I wasn't really sure if this would sustain me, so that way I can actually live the lifestyle that I had in my brain. Like, these crazy ideas I had in my head, I wasn't sure if I could live these out. So I started testing out different ideas. I started experimenting with different things. And to my amazement, my experiment started to work. When within 30 days, I brought in 10 high-ticket clients. Those high-ticket clients provided me with enough income, enough flexibility, and enough validation that this idea works and it will continue to work. From that point, I started traveling around the world. From that point, I started helping many more people. And one of the things that was interesting that happened was that as people in the market started seeing me having this success, they started reaching out and asking me, hey, Mike, can you show me how to do this? Can you show me how to do this for myself? So I was a little reluctant at first because I'm like, all right, let me show you. Let me show you what I do. And to my amazement, people started creating results. They started sending me testimonials after testimonial. They started sending me case study after case study, success story after success story. And that's when I said to myself, I have something here with High Ticket Freedom. I'm going to keep going forward with this. And, since then, that was back in 2015. Now, we're way beyond 2015, and we've been able to impact, hundreds of clients from all over the world with our movement in High Ticket Freedom on over 12 different countries around the world. I'm talking about multiple continents on this entire planet. We've been impacting people for years through High Ticket Freedom. So, what's been amazing and really transformational for me is that, now that we've achieved this success, we have this company that's had this success. we have this other company as well with Banana Wave and Banana Milk. This company has grown from literally just an idea to now it's a company that's, it's producing multiple six figures, even 7 figures in sales, going on track to be a multi 7-figure business very shortly. And we sell our product in over 3,000 retail stores around the world. So some of our clients include Whole Foods, Walmart, H-E-B, GNC, and that's just to name a few. We've been able to accomplish this with our business with Banana Wave. What I've done is I've taken my best information that I've learned through High Ticket Freedom, through my 8 years as a digital marketer and online entrepreneur. I've taken some of my best knowledge and best experience that I've learned in the past 5 years from building Banana Wave into the company that it is now, and even from the past going on 4 years now, from building High Ticket Freedom into what it is today. I've taken all this information and I've put it inside of one package, which is High Ticket Freedom, where we're constantly updating it, constantly providing some of the highest level and highest quality of information that comes from real world experience of literally starting from poverty, finding a way to reprogram the mind to become successful, and starting from just ideas to being able to create real companies that provide real value, real solutions in the real world, and that sell products and services to the highest level companies online and offline. Okay, those being Walmart, H-E-B, even online companies as well that we've worked with in the past. So one of the things I realized is that not everybody knows how to create their own banana milk, right? Not everybody has that type of idea, but one thing that everybody does have a life story. They have life lessons. They have life experience. They have knowledge. They have skills that they developed. They have gifts that lay deep inside of them. They have talents, natural abilities. They have these things, ideas, advice, expertise. Everyone has these things. And so what I realize is that because everyone has these things, we can help people extract that. We can help them dig inside of themselves to find their superpower so they can create a high ticket offer around that and actually create a business as well. And that has been the direction that we've gone in with High Ticket Freedom, is to make sure that we are the premier digital lifestyle and business training academy. Okay. So now that I've had all this success in my life, through these businesses, things have changed for me. I went back to that time when I was a 5-year-old kid, and that story that I told myself of my parents don't love me, right? I'm not deserving of the best that life had to offer. I'm not worthy. I went back to that story and I challenged that story and I recreated a new story. You see, it wasn't that my parents didn't love me. My parents always loved me. It's just that they did what they thought they needed to do to take care of me. My mom worked, she was working 12, 14-hour shifts at the hospital just to keep the lights on and keep food on the table, which was a struggle for her as a single teenage mom. And my father was a notorious, let's say, street pharmacist, right? And he actually went to prison. He spent more than half of his life in prison for dealing narcotics and a lot of just crime that he was involved in that lifestyle, because he himself, he grew up in the streets. He grew up in a tough environment, and he was only doing what he knew and what he thought was right. So it wasn't that my parents didn't love me. They always loved me. And it wasn't that I wasn't valuable. It wasn't that I wasn't deserving of the best that life had to offer, or that I deserved to struggle. No, I was always deserving of the best that life had to offer. I was always worthy. And I was always destined to live a life of abundance, because there's abundance all around us on this planet. So with those internal breakthroughs, it's been amazing. It's been freeing for me, because I've created new stories in my mind that have changed everything for me. I'm no longer seeking my father's approval. I'm only seeking my approval, and that means I approve of everything I put out there, right? And that's beautiful, because it comes from a place of authenticity with the things that I share, that I put out, and that I create now in the world, because I'm not seeking my father's approval. And what's even better than that is, outside of what I've been able to accomplish on an internal level, I've had major external breakthroughs, right? Where I've been able to get out of that, mentality, that poverty mentality that I was born into, and create a mentality of abundance. And my life is completely different. I have so much abundance in my life. I have better relationships with my parents now. My mom, she's my best friend again. My dad, he's we're building a relationship. We're establishing our relationship that we were not able to do when I was a young kid. and through my adolescent years. And it's absolutely beautiful. I'm telling you, like we talk like we're friends, like we're buddies, and it's fun. I absolutely love it. But not only that, I've been able to impact, from through High Ticket Freedom alone, hundreds of clients. But through all the digital products, I've created over 15 digital products. Okay, literally have touched thousands of clients and customers from around the world through all of my products that I've created over my 8 years of experience. So being able to impact thousands of people worldwide through my digital products over the years is incredible. And then, what we've been able to do with Banana Wave, we've been able to impact hundreds of thousands of people so far, and soon millions and eventually billions of people worldwide with that brand and with that physical product. But on top of that, I've won multiple awards. I've won awards in college for being Senior of the Year. I won awards on the basketball court for being Most Valuable Player, MVP, right? Athlete of the Year, Sportsman of the Year, rather. I won awards for being named to the First Team All Conference, First Team All Defense for the college that I was playing for at Florida Memorial University. I won an award for being a senior award, basically a leadership award for being one of the leaders on the team. I won an award for being Defensive Player of the Year. And my senior year of college basketball, I led my team in every category. So I made history by being the only player to lead in every category. When I say lead, I mean I had the most points, the most shot attempts, the most made shots, right? Most missed shots, the most blocked shots, the most assists, the most steals, the most free throws, the most 3-pointers, literally everything, the most minutes played, everything. On top of that, by the end of my college senior career, I was ranked in 5 different categories in the top 5 in the entire country. So I was one of the best players in the entire country my senior year. But not only that, when I finished and I graduated, I won Senior of the Year award. Okay, so they gave me a year for being the best senior at my university at that time. And on top of that, I've won awards for digital products that I've created, where, in a marketplace called Warrior Plus that has tens of thousands of customers, of other affiliates and product vendors. I was able to win an award where we had the best product of the day. Okay. On top of that, we've won awards for our physical product. We won a business plan, elevator pitch competitions. We won business plan, like I said, business plan competitions. We actually won an award for being the world's best tasting non-dairy milk alternative on the planet, like the entire world. Okay. And this was given to us in 2016 by a company called Beverage World Magazine. And on top of these awards, that we've been able to do in business, that I've been able to do personally, okay, I've been able to achieve more freedom in my life. I've been able to achieve true joy, more self-love, and really more peace within myself through the power of what I've been able to do through these companies. And not only have I been able to achieve these type of things, my diet and my nutrition has improved. I'm able to actually pay to learn how to improve my nutrition and work with people who can help me take my nutrition and take my health to higher levels. On top of that, we now contribute to 2 different charities. One's called Food for the Poor, where every single month we donate a percentage of our sales and food product to Food for the Poor. And on top of that, every single month with High Ticket Freedom, we donate a percentage of our sales to an organization called Michelle Tedora's Kids, where we help provide food, clothing, and educational needs to children in rural areas of Haiti. So we're actually giving back in multiple different ways by feeding people, educating the children, providing clothing for the children, feeding the children of this planet. These are some major breakthroughs that I've been able to achieve thanks to what we've done and put together inside of High Ticket Freedom. And I absolutely love my life because of the impact that we get to make to people all over the world. And on top of that, my clients, they're able to change their lives. Some of my clients have quit their full-time jobs in literally less than 10 weeks. Some clients have been able to go from brand new, just getting started, to building a multiple 5-figure business in their first 35 days. So I've been able to impact people on different areas, from social contributions to the actual clients that we work with. And you see, all of these breakthroughs have been amazing for me. They've done amazing things for me. And so I want to tell you what I believe, okay? You see, I believe that everyone has a superpower or a gift laying dormant inside of them. And so what I do is I help people discover their superpower so they can turn it into a high ticket business, get paid to share it, impact lives all over the world so they can ultimately create a fun, lifestyle-based business where they get to travel the world, share more time with loved ones, family, their friends, and do what they want to do because they want to do it, and ultimately create freedom your way. That is what we do inside of High Ticket Freedom. And again, we've been transforming clients' lives all over the world since 2015, and we're going to continue going until we impact people worldwide. So, what's my story? Well, my story is this. An underdog who started at the lowest levels of poverty in the hood, in the projects, in the ghetto, single mother, teenage mother. My father was in prison more than half of his life. I was involved in street gangs, nearly lost my life to the justice system multiple times, dipped my toes in the street life on a heavy level, and again, almost lost my life to the street life as well. I've gone through depression. I made it out of the hood. I went back to the hood after losing my scholarship, ended up finishing college. From all that turmoil and trials and tribulations, I've been able to build 2 companies that impact people's lives all over the world. I mean, we're talking literally well over 12 countries around the entire planet. And on top of that, I've been able to achieve freedom for myself where I've been traveling the world. Now, going on 4 years now that I've been traveling the world thanks to the impact and the legacy that we're creating with High Ticket Freedom. So at this point, if you're watching, I want to say thank you for just coming through and being able to share your time with me. Allow me to share my story with you. Allow me to tell you my story about who I am, where I come from, and why I do what I do, and also how I got to this point. So thank you. And just before we get out of here, I want to leave you with this. If the dreams that you're dreaming can be accomplished in this lifetime, then you are dreaming too small. I challenge you. Yes, baby, I challenge you to dream bigger. Dream bigger. Thanks again for watching this video. I look forward to seeing you here in our movement and in everything else that we got going on inside of High Ticket Freedom. That's it for now. I'll see you again soon. If this video made an impact in your life, please comment below. Let me know your thoughts. Share your feedback with me. I would love to hear what you got to think. I would love to hear what you have to say. I would love to hear your opinion about my story, about my experience that brought me here to share this value with you. Take care. Peace.